Olympic gymnastics team is closing. Some of the nation's best Olympic hopefuls have gathered in Rochester, New York for the U.S. Classic. More than 30 athletes will be trying to advance to the U.S. Championships, but only 14 will keep their Olympic dreams alive. The stakes are high, and years of training are on the line. The Women's U.S. Classic Championships is next. CNH Sports presents gymnastics. Today from Rochester, New York, in the Blue Cross Arena, CNH Sports presents the 2004 U.S. Classic Gymnastics Championships. It's the Seniors Women's Division. Hello, everyone. I'm Lou Tilley. Pleased to be alongside, once again, United States Olympic champion Bart Connor. And it is not a stretch to say, Bart, in this Olympic year, that we're going to see some United States women Olympians out there today.
We sure are, and the excitement is ramping up because we're just a couple of months away from the opening of the games in Athens. And, of course, the U.S. team is terrific. The U.S. women won the most recent World Championships in Anaheim, California. So there is a lot of excitement about the potential of success at the Olympics.
Here in Rochester, this is a qualifying event, and the top 14 in this division will go on to the Nationals, and then they're just one step away from the United States Olympic team. Who are some of the stars to watch tonight, Bart?
Well, there are three gymnasts who we should watch out for particularly. This young lady, Courtney Kupets, was the 2002 world champion on the uneven bars, the athlete of the year in 2003, and then she tore her Achilles tendon just before the world championships last year. She's in an 8-month process of remending, and she is back, and she is strong. She won't do the all-around tonight, but she is looking good, and I think she'll be a factor for the U.S. in the Olympics this summer. Holly Weiss was on that world championship team. She won a gold medal with the U.S. women, and she also was the co-champion on the uneven bars, and she is outstanding and looking in better form than ever, so I expect her to look good tonight. The third gymnast that we should focus on is Ashley Postel. In 2002, she was the world champion on the balance beam. Well, she missed the world championships because just before the competition started, she caught the flu, and she had to sit out. But that was evidence of the depth of the U.S. team because the other young lady stepped up and won the world title over the Romanians, who have dominated for the last 5 world championships previous to that.
Perhaps the greatest improvement in all of our Olympic sports have been the United States women. And tonight will be like a hour-long preview for you with Bart Connor alongside. I'm Lou Tilley from Rochester, New York. Stay with us. All the action when we come right back on CNH Sports. This is the scene, the Blue Cross Arena. It's the old War Memorial in Rochester, New York, right on the banks of the Genesee River that flows right through this great American city. And we'll be watching 4 events and 4 rotations of each. First, the vault, and then the uneven parallel bars, along with the balance beam, which is really the deciding factor very often in these events. And, of course, the always entertaining floor exercise. And each athlete, for the most part, will be competing in all 4 events. At stake are 14 qualifying positions for the Nationals, which come up in Nashville, Tennessee. Annie DeLuzio starts us off, and she's competing here in the floor exercise.
She's from Byers Gymnastics out there in Sacramento, California. Debbie and Eli Rodriguez coach her there, along with Mas Watanabe, the former great Japanese gymnast who made great contributions to the U.S. program over the years.
These are the senior women. Now, all of these women are eligible for the United States Olympic team, and the age qualification, you must be 16 within a calendar year.
That rule was changed after the '96 Olympics in an attempt to try to get these junior coaches to back off a little and not push the young ladies too much when they're too young.
Until then, Bart, how young were some of the competitors?
Well, Nadia was the youngest, Comaneci. She was 14 and a half.
Is that right?
Her individual gold medal. And she turned 15 by the end of that calendar year. So,
and amazing, she's only 25 now.
There you go.
You know,
how does that work out?
Yeah.
I'm not that good with math, but I don't think that adds up right.
But that's amazing, 14 and a half. So the bar is set at 16.
Wow, what a nice triple twist. What good technique on that. power as well as refined technique in the twist.
Little bow at the end of that routine, and we're underway in our first round rotation. And here's the finish that Bart was talking about.
It's very difficult to get a triple twist all the way around, and the judges are watching the feet to make sure that the 3 complete revolutions do happen. Let's watch her feet and see if she gets all the way around. She sure gets up in the air nicely. Beautiful twist, and she easily makes all 3 revolutions to get full credit for that skill.
Annie DeLuzio from Sacramento, California. Up on the beam is Brandy Personette in the emerald green ensemble. Brandy is from Houston, Texas. She finished in a tie for 10th in the American Classic Championships in California, so she's already qualified for the national finals.
Her coach is Kelly Mizuguchi. Keep in mind some of the things that judges are watching for on the balance beam are skills like that, of course, a combination of acrobatic skills. They also have to show a 360-degree turn.
Time limit here, Bart?
Yeah, generally the routine is limited to under 1:30, and generally the gymnasts go right up to the max. Beautiful aerial walkover. Now she was hoping to connect those 2 skills going forward, and oh, that's unfortunate. She was trying to connect the whole series there, and perhaps the nerves got to her a little bit because she took a pause in between, and that may have thrown her off. There's that full turn, which is a requirement. What you watch for in the balance beam routines are these combinations of skills. That's where you get extra bonus points, is connecting 2 difficult acrobatic skills together. All right, good looking dismount, 2 back handsprings to a double twist, but she was unfortunate to fall.
Brandy Personette falls off the beam. There's an automatic deduction, of course. They have 10 seconds to get back underway.
It's a ½ point deduction, and you continue from where you fell off. And she finished with 2 back handsprings to a double twist.
Our first look at one of the young stars that you're sure to be hearing a lot about going forward, Courtney Cuppets, out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, one of the great homes of gymnastics in the Northeast.
We're going to have a chance to see her on the uneven bars, which is where she won the world title in 2002 in Hungary. And she is outstanding here. It's interesting because she is the young lady that we mentioned tore her Achilles tendon just before the World Championships and was not able to compete on that team. She went right home and had the surgery and got right into her rehab. Took the mandatory 6 months off of any real heavy pounding, but she was always working her strength and conditioning and the uneven bars, which is her best event. So she is now just starting to put some pressure on the tumbling skills. We watched her yesterday in practice do floor and vaulting. She's very explosive, but they're choosing to not risk it here.
No need.
This being the Olympic year.
Right.
So
no need. So she will compete in what we expect 2 of the 4 exercises here.
That's right. The uneven bars as well as the balance beam. And I think, though, that she's right on track, and her coaches were telling me yesterday, in particular Jen Bundy, that she hasn't had any setbacks, and they were knocking on wood in her recovery. Watch the spectacular explosiveness of this routine. Look at this transition from the low to the high and the high to the low. Those are required elements.
She'll be 18 years old this coming July, and in August, when you presume she competes in Athens.
Beautiful release. Beautiful hop full right to a second release, that reverse hect. This routine is easy for her.
Yeah,
she does a full twisting double, and she can even do more complicated skills, but it's clear that she's on the right track.
And she'll
coach Kelly Hill.
Here's that transition from
the hop full twist over to that release move backwards over the bar. It's called a reverse hect. First performed by a great Russian gymnast.
Next competitor from floor exercise will be Stephanie Gentry.